Here it comes, everybody, the splash hit, Land of the Lost, for the super-duper contest at the close of the program. And the most unusual prizes in radio. The first prize is a barrel of money. Now, here's a tip. This contest is for food-saving tricks. So get your mother or whoever does the cooking in your family to listen and help you win. Why not call her right now and be sure to have a pencil and paper handy? The Mutual Broadcasting System presents The Land of the Lost. And its discoverer, the well-known storyteller, Isabel Manning Hewson.
Here we go to the land of the lost, that fascinating kingdom where all the things that disappear on Earth find their way. My brother Billy and I would never have known there was such a place if we hadn't made friends with the wise talking fish, Red Lantern. Red Lantern gave us magic seaweed so we could breathe underwater and travel through the shimmering green depths of the sea. One spring day, as the three of us were gliding along on one of the byways of the kingdom, Red Lantern said,
"Say, Pollywogs, you recognize that rotund denizen ahead of us?"
It looks like Uncle Zeke's sponge.
Well, squeeze me dry if it's not Red and the young amphibian.
Hi, Uncle Zeke.
Going our way, Uncle Zeke?
Not unless you're on the warpath, Red.
Warpath?
Observe me closely and you will see indignation oozing from every pore. I'm madder than the wet hen who laid an egg.
Gee.
You do look a trifle disgruntled.
Why, I was seeing Red long before you hove in sight, my Rubicon chum.
But why, Uncle Zeke?
A young pal of mine's being mistreated, that's why. Little shaver that can't defend himself.
Do we know him?
Could be, my dear. Enterprising juvenile by the name of Butch from over at the Urchinage.
The Urchinage?
Oh, you know, the place where the sea urchins live, Billy. They haven't any homes of their own.
And they've got a new matron over there that started treating them all like criminals.
New matron?
A female called Susan Snipe. Whoever put that wall-eyed killjoy from the frigid zone in charge of a bunch of high-spirited little squirts ought to be frying in deep fat.
Oh, my.
She's been gunning for Butch right from the start, and now she's caught him up to some piffling prank or another.
Gee, tough luck.
The kid's scared to death. Smuggled out an SOS. Send over sponge. I got it this morning.
Well, what are you going to do, Uncle Zeke?
My friend, I'm going to blast the place wide open.
Yeah?
I intend to set off a charge of verbal dynamite that will put...
Now. Steady in the gangway, Uncle Zeke. You haven't the authority.
But you have, Red. Those little scallywags need somebody to stand up for them. How about coming aboard?
Hot ziggity.
Well, I've a little errand to do first. Meet me at the Urchinage gate in 10 minutes, Uncle Zeke.
Aye, sir.
Goodbye, Uncle Zeke.
So long, Uncle Zeke.
And try to cool off in the meantime. Come on, tadpoles.
Well, where are we going, Red Lantern?
Not far. I want to consult with J. Jordan Jackfish before I tackle this fishabaloo.
Mr. Jackfish? Who's he?
One of the directors of the Urchinage, and a great philanthropist in his quiet way.
Whatever that is.
A philanthropist uses his wealth to do good for other ocean dwellers, Billy. If it hadn't been for Mr. Jackfish's donations, the Urchinage would have gone on the rocks long ago. Here's where he... Well, bless my scales.
Is that Mr. Jackfish coming out the door?
Nobody else. Good morning, J. Jordan.
How do you do, Red Lantern?
Glad we caught you. These are my friends Isabel and Billy.
How do you do, Mr. Jackfish?
I'm sorry I can't invite you in, but I have an appointment over at the Urchinage.
What's that?
Yes, confidentially, it's been reported to me that the urchins are getting out of hand.
Oh?
And the new matron writes that she needs funds.
The very person I wanted to discuss with you.
Indeed.
I've been hearing some rather serious complaints about Miss Susan Snipe.
Well, I've never met the ladyfish, but she came highly recommended by the Ice versus Vice Society.
Sounds like a cool customer, all right. Uncle Zeke Sponge is very upset about her treatment of a youngster named Butch, and I promised to meet him there shortly. Perhaps we might all go together, Mr. Jackfish?
Splendid. We'll investigate both sides of the question, but May I suggest that we forget the name Jackfish temporarily, Red Lantern?
How's that?
If the sea urchins are told that I'm, the power behind the foam, so to speak, they'll all be out to make a good impression, and we'll never see beneath the surface.
I see.
I'd like them to think I'm an ordinary visitor.
You mean you're going to use an alias, Mr. Jackfish?
Exactly, my boy. Exactly.
Now, just call me Richard Rowe. That's anyone's name, you know.
We know.
I want to play dumb, so just keep it mum that I'm up to my gills in dough.
He wants to play dumb, so just keep it mum that he's up to his gills in dough.
For I really don't care to go.
Really don't care
if
to
they're
go.
going to put on a show. I'll find more out, without a doubt, if my name is Richard Rowe. If my name is Richard Rowe.
I understand, J. Jordan. We won't spill a drop about your being chief benefactor of the Urchinage. But now, full steam ahead. Uncle Zeke's waiting. There's the Urchinage, Tadpoles.
And there's Uncle Zeke right by the gate.
Ahoy, mates! Do I behold reinforcements?
Yes, we picked up a little ballast, Uncle Zeke. May I introduce, Mr. Richard Rowe?
How do you do?
Howdy, Rowe. Haven't I seen you somewhere before?
It's quite possible. Shall we trickle on in?
Oh, my. It's a dreary-looking place, isn't it, Billy?
Yeah. Look, bars on the windows, and the yard's so small you could
Ring
hardly...
the bell, Billy.
Okay, Red Lantern.
Same old atmosphere. Hasn't changed a bit.
Beg pardon?
Nothing.
Welcome to the Urchinage. Did you wish to see Miss Knight?
Yes, please.
This way.
One moment, my little Moppet.
Oh.
I'm not snipe hunting. The person I came to see is young Butch. Where can I find him?
Oh, sir, Butch isn't allowed to have visitors.
Huh?
He's getting the high and dry treatment.
Dry! The very word revolts me. But, what has the little scamp done?
Oh, didn't you know, sir? He stole some blankets from one of Flotsam and Jetsam's truck.
Stole them?
Oh, yes, sir. Imported moss they were.
That will do, Gertie Urchin. Go back and wipe off the doorstep.
Yes, Miss Knight.
How do you do, gentlemen? This is really an honor, though I'm afraid I don't know which of you is our great benefactor.
One moment, Miss Snipe. I am Red Lantern, but Mr. Jackfish doesn't wish to be introduced as an official visitor. He is here today under a nom de plume, as it were.
Oh, most modest of him, I'm sure. Quite in keeping with the tone of his letter.
May I present Mr. Richard Rowe
How do you do?
and Mr. Zeke Sponge?
Madam,
Not another word. I understand perfectly, Mr. Sponge. Your wishes shall be respected in every particular.
Huh? What's that?
I'm sure you have some splendid ideas for improving the lot of these unfortunate urchins. But perhaps you want to see the little dears at dinner first.
Yes,
This way.
Billy, do you see what's happened?
Huh?
Miss Knight made a mistake. She thinks Uncle Zeke is Mr. Jackfish.
Oh, you didn't bargain for this, did you, J. Jordan? But, excuse me, I'll set the good lady fish straight.
Oh, no, don't tell her, Red.
Well, why not?
This is wonderful. Even Sponge doesn't know my true identity. Come on.
You'll be pleased when you see what perfect order we maintain at meal times, Mr. Sponge. I always say, fisher-plin first, food afterward.
So I hear, madam. So I hear.
This is the dining room. Silence! Spoons down. Are we enjoying our midday meal?
Yes, Miss Knight.
Such fine, nourishing food, gentlemen. A large bowl of potassium gruel 3 times a day, with salted prunes for dessert.
Miss Snipe.
Simple but adequate. I always say that...
Miss Snipe, Mr. Rowe is speaking to you.
Oh, beg pardon.
May I ask what the little mites used to eat before you took the helm?
Oh, all sorts of unsuitable concoctions. Would you believe it, Mr. Sponge? The last cook used to give them pudding on Friday.
Incredible.
But I put a stop to that leak in the budget, and they've learned to prefer their new meals. Urchins, let our visitors hear your little dinner serenade. 1, 2, sing.
Though we live on charity, we're as lucky as can be.
Lovely gruel every day.
Makes us happy, bright and gay, for it's so delicious as you see.
Second verse.
We are grateful for our food, never greedy, never rude. If we're very good at noon, we can have an extra prune, for they're so delicious when they're stewed.
Salted prunes, eh? Wouldn't you rather have an apple float?
Yay!
And a snack of sponge cake between meals?
Oh!
Sponge cake. Oh, Mr. Sponge, what a clever idea. You're too good to the darlings, but I'll see that it's carried out, sir.
And you'll get the bill, J. Jordan.
The dinner's nearly over. You'll want to see the workroom next.
Well, can't Billy and I stay a little longer, Red Lantern? The urchins are so cute.
Yeah, we'll catch up with you in a minute.
All right, tadpoles, but don't be too long.
Hey, they're gone. Hey, fellas. Hey, let's sing our version of that dinner serenade.
Gruel spoils, it spoils our appetite. Yet we're hungry, so hungry day and night. Only nincompoops and goons could enjoy those salted prunes, so our belts are never, never tied.
Gosh, too bad Mr. Jackfish
Oh, the
couldn't
mean
be...
thing!
Huh?
Look, Billy, at the other end of the table.
What?
While the others were singing, a big urchin sneaked in, grabbed the bowl from a little fellow, and ran away with it.
A bully, huh? I'll teach him to treat little guys like
it's
that.
too late now, Billy. He's gone.
Hey, they're all leaving the table. Guess we might as well go back to Red Lantern. Miss Snipe said they'd be in the workroom, wherever that is.
Well, let's ask these little urchins. Excuse me, could you show us the way to the workroom?
Oh, yes, miss. That's where we're going.
Swell. Say, Isabel, look at that funny statue on the pedestal of a big fat fish.
With his nose broken off. Well, what happened to it?
I don't know. It's always been that way.
Well, who's it supposed to be?
Diogenes Dunk, the old bloater who founded this urchinage.
Wish he was still alive. I'd like to tie a knot in his tail.
And in Mr. J. Jordan Jackfish's, too.
My gracious, what for?
Oh, 'cause he thinks it's wrong for us urchins to have any fun.
How do you know? Have you ever seen him?
No, but Miss Snipe told us so. Mustn't play water tag. Mr. Jackfish wouldn't approve.
Yeah.
Mustn't ask for second helpings. Mr. Jackfish says it's greedy.
Yeah.
Mustn't...
Purdy, here's the workroom.
No loitering. Back to your duties, all. Quickly now. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, it's work, work, work. With needle, pail, and mop. If you shirk, 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 you'll never, never reach the top. You'd better not get tired, for you're not allowed to stop. Idle pins are a sin for the urchins. Idle pins are a sin. Oh,
gentlemen. They're kept busy from morning till night. Scrubbing, polishing, mending, peeling sea potatoes.
So you don't have to pay for any servants, Miss Snipe?
I'm sure that our patron, Mr. Jackfish, would want us to be thrifty, Red Lantern. Besides, it's the only way to keep the little creatures out of mischief.
It didn't seem to work that way with young Butch.
I don't know what concern it is of yours, Mr. Rose, but nothing will put a cramp in that scamp.
I must confess, I was shocked when I heard of his stealing.
It didn't surprise me, sir. He's bad, through and through. And what's more, he leads the others into disobedience. To begin with, he got them to sign a petition against my new rule of no holidays.
Hearken to me, my good woman. Urchins will be urchins. And all work and no spray makes Jack a dull fish.
Here.
Mr. Sponge.
I happen to know the young sprout in question.
You know him?
I do, madam. And I'd like to hear what he has to say about this so-called blankety-blanket stealing.
So-called? But he himself has admitted
Mr.
that
Sponge wants to absorb both sides of the question, Miss Snipe. I think you'd better send for Butch.
But I don't know where
Calm yourself, my gentle snipe face.
Oh.
Here comes the microscopic menace himself.
Uncle Zeke, don't let him send me back to that dry cell.
How's that, Butch?
I can't breathe in there.
Billy, it's the big urchin who snatched the little one's gruel.
You mean they've been keeping you in a dry cell?
Yes, except at mealtimes. I heard your voice and I...
Hold your tongue.
Oh.
Mr. Sponge has come here to find out about your wicked thieving. And I advise you to tell him the right story.
Don't let her scare you, Butch. Tell him the truth.
Quiet!
Come on, Butch. You didn't take the blinking blankets, did you, son?
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I knew it was wrong to steal,
You
but I...
see, Mr. Sponge? That will do, Butch.
Not by a jugful it won't do. Now, why did you steal them, kid?
Well, because it gets so cold at night, and the little urchins didn't have no covers.
No covers?
No.
Shocking.
Don't you believe him, Uncle Zeke. He doesn't care about anything about the little urchins. Billy and I saw him take a bowl of gruel away from one of them in the dining room. Stop talking that way about Butch. He didn't steal my gruel.
But who are you?
Sammy Scrod. And Butch is a friend of mine, see? He was doing me a favor.
What do you mean, favor?
We ain't allowed any prunes unless we finish our gruel. Prunes is all I can eat. Butch knows I can't swallow that gruel, so he drinks the nasty stuff for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's true about the blankets. Us urchins nearly freeze every night, and Butch was scared we'd get dorsalitis.
He didn't keep none of them for himself, mister. He gave them all to us so's we could sleep, and we hid them under his bed in the morning.
Butch, my boy, you did very wrong. But since you didn't do it for yourself, it's my opinion you ought to have another chance, provided they'll give it to you.
If that's your wish, Mr. Sponge.
But you better steer a straight course from now on, fella.
Oh, I will, sir. Honest, I will.
Huh. So cold they can't sleep.
Mr. Sponge, a place like this can't afford luxuries. Oh, I try my poor best, but our funds are inadequate. What can we do?
Do whatever you like, madam.
Whatever we like. Oh, dear, Mr. Sponge, you are too kind. But after all, haven't you any suggestions about where to begin?
Why, yes, Snipesy-Wipesy. I can oblige you with a few suggestions, and I'm right in the mood. Better victuals and more of them.
Oh, yes, of course.
A doll or a ball for every urchin.
Most indulgent.
A holiday once a month, and a fine big spray ground where they can splash to their heart's content.
Oh, really, Mr. Sponge, it's too much.
But that's only to make up for what they've been cheated out of. What these floppets and moppets really need most is to learn that work is a good thing, not a bad thing. No. Hold on there. Hold on. Too much of anything is bad. You urchins certainly have had an awful overdose. But every denizen worth his salt knows there's no satisfaction in the world like doing a good job, especially when it helps somebody else get along.
You tell him, Uncle Zeke.
Why, work can be a lot of fun. Now, how'd you boys like to get out on Farmer Abaloney's place and help run his sea tractor?
Can I go, mister?
Oh, me.
And how'd you girls like to help gather flowers in the palace garden?
That's not work. Serving a picnic.
That's the kind of jobs you ought to be doing, serving your fellow fish, instead of being cooped up in this stagnant backwater. Well, what do you say?
Let's go!
There you are, Miss Snipe. You asked for it.
I'm sure we're all overwhelmed by your generosity.
Generosity, my good spinster finster. Advice doesn't cost anything.
I beg your pardon.
If it did, I couldn't afford to hand it out.
Are you saying that you do not intend to float these improvements?
Don't try to wheedle Spondulix out of Zeke Sponge, madam. He's lucky when he can float himself.
Oh.
Tell you what I will do, though. I'll make good for those blankets at Flotsam and Jetsam Seaporium.
Blankets? Please be serious, Mr. Sponge.
Don't roll those hungry eyes at me, Snipesy.
Oh.
Go to J. Jordan Jackfish. They say he's your richest trustee.
But are you pretending that you are not J. Jordan Jackfish?
Me? What's the matter with the female? I am plain Zeke Sponge, madam. Poor and porous.
Oh, why, you waterlogged imposter. How dared you lead me on? Make a fool of me.
Uncle Zeke wasn't deceiving you, Miss Snipe. You made the mistake yourself. Shall we call it a snipographical error?
Oh, you planned it between you to make me ridiculous before these horrid brats. Get out, all of you. Get out!
Oh, no, Miss Snipe. It's you who are going to get out, right back to the frigid zone where you came from.
Oh, and what authority have you?
I am J. Jordan Jackfish.
You?
Well, souse my spinnaker.
I wanted to find out what was going on inside this urchinage, and I got a gillful. No covers for the beds, little shavers half starved, and the profits from it all flowing into your pockets, Susan Snipe.
I deserved what I could make. You won't have an easy time finding a new director.
I think I've found one already. Urchins, all in favor of Uncle Zeke Sponge, say aye.
Me? But looky here.
I'll furnish everything he suggested. Spray ground, toys, and a chance to do your share for the kingdom.
Hey, Mr. Jackfish, we always thought you'd be a wet smack, but you're all right.
I was an urchin once myself, Butch, right under this very roof. And say, you want to know something?
Yeah.
I was the guy that knocked the nose off Diogenes' dunk.
Say, fellas, let's sing a song for Mr. Jackfish.
Times have changed, and aren't we glad? From now on, we won't be bad. Uncle Zeke is here to stay. Mr. Jackfish saved the day. They're the bestest friends we ever had. The best we ever had.
Lucky 7-time, Pollywogs. Well, good news travels fast, doesn't it? You Land of the Lost listeners have been busy as bees, sending in entries for our new contest.
Well, why wouldn't they, Isabel? Those prizes are big enough to make it worthwhile for every member of a family to pitch in and try.
And I think we better tell our new listeners right away about them, Hugh, because they'll all want to try, too.
Okay.
The first prize is a barrel of money. Real United States money. Bills, $half, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. Did you ever hear of anything like that? Well, that's the first prize in this contest.
Say, think of all the things you could buy with a barrel of money that has more than $300 in it.
Yep.
Wow.
It would pay for your camp this summer, get you that pony or dog or bicycle you wanted.
Or that special party dress or some bonds for your savings account.
Well, now, Hugh, that's the very reason we picked money prizes for this contest. So you can get whatever you like with the money you win.
And, brother, more than $300 would come in mighty handy for anybody.
And that's only the first prize. The second prize is a roll of money big enough to choke a horse. Of course, we're not going to choke a horse with it. We're going to let one of you win it. And this roll of money has over $100 in it.
Oh, and then comes a third prize. A stack of nickels 7 feet high. Gee, can you figure out how much that is?
It's an awful lot of nickels. Imagine all the candy bars, chewing gum, and ice cream sodas 7 feet of nickels will buy.
Oh, boy. Hey, it's my turn now. I want to talk about the fourth prize.
Well, go ahead. It's worth talking about.
The fourth prize is your own weight in pennies, which means if your weight is 80 pounds, you get not 80 pennies, but 80 pounds of pennies. And there are 300 more prizes. So a lot of you listeners are going to be winners. Isabel, tell them what they have to do to win.
The easiest thing you can imagine. All you have to do is ask anyone you know for an idea on how to save food and send it to us.
Well, why don't you tell us what sort of ideas so everybody will know right away what to do?
Well, here's one a little girl in Nebraska sent in. She says, "My mother never wastes the beet tops. She makes spinach out of them."
Say, that's a dandy food-saving trick.
Well, here's one from an 8-year-old boy. He writes, "Mom keeps the bread in the refrigerator and it stays fresh so none is wasted." And here's another from a Boy Scout in Brooklyn. "My family never throws away stale cake. We toast it, and it's good."
I get you. But suppose you know more than one food-saving trick.
Oh, so much the better. You can send in as many entries to this contest as you want. The more you send, the more chance you have of winning.
You mean that if a boy's mother gives him a good idea on saving vegetables one day, and his aunt tells him a good way of saving fat the next...
He just sends in the vegetable-saving trick on one postcard and the fat-saving trick on another.
Gee.
But only one trick on the back of each postcard or in each letter.
Well, what if a boy or girl gets all the people he or she knows to give him ideas? Can he send them all in?
Of course he can. He can keep on sending in as many as he can get. And here's the reason we want so many of these ideas. The President of the United States has called on the entire nation to save food, to save the lives of the starving people in Europe. So our job right now is to see that nothing is wasted in our kitchens. To make this job more fun is the reason we planned these wonderful prizes. They'll go to the listeners who send in what our judges consider the most useful and interesting ideas on saving food.
Why, every mother knows some kind of a trick.
Probably a lot of tricks. And I'm sure every mother will be glad to help her child, not only because she wants her boy or girl to win, but because she wants to do her part in this food-saving campaign. And I know I can count on all the Land of the Lost Club members to do their bit.
Now, do all of you understand what you have to do to enter this contest? Simply send in an idea for saving food. That's what we mean when we say a food-saving trick. Just ask your mother, grandmother, or your aunt, or anybody you know to give you one. Then you write it down on a postcard, that's just one on a card and one in each letter, and send it to us. If you get a good trick from your aunt today and a better one from a friend tomorrow, just keep on sending them in. The more ideas you send, the more chance you have to win. Get one from everybody in your neighborhood if you like, but remember, each trick must be on a separate card or in a separate letter. Address your cards to the Land of the Lost, Mutual Broadcasting System, Box 222, Times Square Station, New York. And don't forget about those terrific prizes. Now remember, write each trick down in a few words on the back of a postcard. Of course, you can send a letter if you want, but that's more trouble. Just send a card. Address it to the Land of the Lost, Mutual Broadcasting System, Box 222, Times Square Station, New York. Now I'll repeat that slowly. Land of the Lost... That's right. Mutual Broadcasting System, Box 222, Box 222, Times Square Station, New York. And this is important. We suggest you get as many entries in as soon as possible to help us in our job of sorting. And remember, whole families can write in. The opinion of our judges is final, and all entries become the property of the program. Be with us next week for a romp in the swamp, when the tadpoles venture up the oozy river with our old friend Weeping Willie, the crocodile. Tune in, same time, same station, when Isabel Manning Hewson takes you again to the Land of the Lost. The Land of the Lost is an original story by Isabel Manning Hewson. The director is Cyril Armbruster. Vocal arrangements, Peggy Marshall. Lyrics, Barbara Miller. Musical background, Gene Perazzo. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.